So the ranunculus has been on my bucket list, and I have been persuaded to knit a ranunculus. And if you're here today, I hope you join us too. Here we go.
And I said, you have just made my day.
Hello, we are back again and so glad that you're here. And we've got an exciting episode for you because if you listened to our last episode, you know that we are digging into the ranunculus. I'm Susie Lanier and I live in Huntsville, Alabama, and this is going to be a fireworks episode.
Oh, geez. I don't know about that, but
It
my name's
is
Linda
fireworks.
Fireworks. My name is Linda Belcher, and I live in the Charlotte area. And yes, I did talk Susie into knitting a ranunculus. And we thought we'd do it together, but we thought we'd do it with the yarn circles. So if you want to join us, that's great. If you decide you want to join us a month from now, that's great too. We said that we were going to do this for the month of February, but it's not going to take that long to knit this sweater, which is part of the charm of this pattern. So
I hope you're right.
Yes, I promise. And this is my third sweater, so it is like really easy because I remembered how to do everything except, you guys, how to figure out the size. I literally had to watch our own video. I tell you, I told my husband, I said, we were going to sit down to watch a movie. And I said, I can't remember what I'm supposed to do here. And he said, it's okay, just take a moment. And of course, it's a short video. And I only needed a portion of it because I knew I had to, do my swatch to get my stitches per inch, which was the important thing. And then it's like, but how will I do it? So anyway, so that's pretty much where we're starting here because today we're going to cover.
And wait, Linda, the video, so that the yarn circle will know. And if you're new, the video she's talking about is actually a video that she did, and you can just scroll and look for it. And it's about how to fit the size. It's only about 8 minutes long. So if you're new here today, then it's short, and you need to watch that 8 minutes.
Yes, definitely. And we'll put the link below, of course. But this is pretty much the place, I think, where people get stuck, which is at the very beginning. They really aren't quite sure how to make a sweater that they're going to like the way it fits. So that's what this addresses. And then, of course, we're just going to kind of work through the pattern steps a little bit, but we're not going to give away anything as if you should. So you don't think you don't have to buy the pattern because you do.
Oh, you have to buy it.
You will be so happy you did, because to be real honest, you can make many of these sweaters, and most people who knit one knit more than one because the variations are just so great, which you'll see as you knit it. But anyway.
In fact, when I knit this one, Linda, it may be the only sweater I ever knit. I'll just knit loads of them.
There you go. And
because I am not a sweater knit. When I learned how to knit this one, it may be the only sweater I ever knit.
Right. And
I just knit a bunch of them.
Well, and so both Susie and I decided that, I've already knit the short sleeve alpaca. I need a long sleeve, which if you watch the episode on the 5th, you'll see my long sleeve. And I want to make something more spring and summer that I can wear, something airy, breezy, and open. So,
and that's what I want.
Right. So we've both decided to do that. So we're going to make a whole another kind of sweater. So anyway, but it really begins, of course, with getting your gauge, which Susie, you got your swatch done.
I have been a good girl. I have a swatch.
Well, there you go. And see her fabric. See how it's loose. It's loosey goosey and airy, which will be nice and cool. Now, what kind of yarn did you use there?
Well, this is a cotton linen blend, and the brand name is, I'm not really sure how. Oh, there you go.
Zoe, probably.
Yeah.
Zoe. Zoe. I think
Zoe or Zoe. And the blend is a cotton linen blend, and I think it's
Okay.
more cotton than it is linen, but
Well, good.
it's 60% cotton and 40% linen. Yeah.
There you go. So it's perfect for
So
summer. So
yeah, and it's a fingering weight. It's a 2. You know, when they put the numbers on the yarn, it's a 2. And its needle suggestion, because I know we're going to talk about this, is a US 3 through a 5. But of course,
Right.
I'm choosing to go bigger than that. But I have found, I did my swatch. I know which needle I want to work with.
And you know the size, so that's where it begins.
I know my size.
And
I've been a good girl. I've done all my
Yep.
homework.
And so honestly, then we're going to start with the neckband. But before we even get into any of it, I want to make you aware that it refers on your pattern in very small letters, which you might miss. I'm going to show it to you how small it is without giving away anything. It says there's a video list. The video list, of course, doesn't show up on your printed pattern. The video list is very good. They're very, very short, but you'll understand the techniques, the stitches by looking at them. And I'm going to show you where you're going to find those. So on the actual pattern page, not the pattern you download, but on the Ravelry page, her Ravelry page, are the videos. The unfortunate thing about the videos titles is you're just going to have to watch them, and then you'll connect which video goes to which stitch. Of course, this is a Japanese pattern maker, so she's doing her very best, I think, to what would be the word? Translate. But anyway, but I'll help you along the way. So anyway, but that's where you're going to find the videos. So I have, opened up my Ravelry page many, many times and had to go and look at it. It's like, oh, a refresher, like, oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to do there. So anyway, I just thought I'd quick show you that so that you know
that's
where
a
to
good
find
pointer,
that.
because most people think the links are going to be in the pattern, but you're going to have to go to the actual pattern page on Ravelry for that. Good. It's a good point.
Correct. All right, so let's begin with this neck edge. And this is decisions, because it shouldn't be a big decision, but it is. There are actually 2 different neck edges that are suggested. One is called for wider neckline, and one is called for smaller neckline. Now, they do not suggest you go down in needle size for the neck edge. You can look at many, many pictures. I mean, there's like 33,000 projects shared on her page, the Ravelry
That is
page.
amazing.
I know. I mean,
30,000.
and then think of how many people downloaded like me and never shared. So there are
never shared.
probably a million. There's
Probably
been a million.
3 or 4 times that amount.
Right, exactly. So I can tell you this. So they do not suggest that you decrease needle for the neck edge. They only suggest for the armband and the hem. However, I personally don't care for a big unstructured neckline. So just so you guys know, I of course have knit a little ahead, because then I had to take notes and think about things that I'd want to talk about. So here is my neck edge. I should put it on.
I love the color of your yarn.
Well, let me tell you what happened with my yarn. This is very okay. Here.
So did you go down needle size for that?
I went down 3 sizes. I am knitting this in a 10. This is a 7. I apparently am a bit of a loose knitter. But the point is that it is, if I would use a size 10, it wouldn't have stability, and it would be real floppy, and it would probably end up looking like those photos that I personally don't care for. I'm just too old for that, and I'm, So anyway, so I went
let me
down
ask
the
a
needle
question.
size. Oh, I'm covering my mic. Sorry, guys.
So So I've decided that I want to knit mine with a US 8, um, which is a 5 millimeter. Um, so if I'm doing an 8, should I go down at least to a 6 for my neckline? Is that what you're saying?
So here's my suggestion. You can actually gauge your size 6, a little swatch.
Watch with a 6 and see
That's
what
what
my.
I did. I literally changed
Okay.
needles in a row, and I just wanted to see what that looked like. And I
Okay.
liked the way it looked. And so before I get into into my crazy modifications, which are not uncommon, I'm going to stay with the pattern real quick. But
Okay.
but that's just something to know is if you want a little bit more of a structure, you can make your neckline a smaller needle. However, you
Okay.
can just knit it right to pattern. If you don't want to confuse yourself, just stay with the size,
Well,
whatever
I
size
want
you're
a structure.
using.
I want a more structured, doable neckline. I think that's a
Okay,
great
yeah,
idea. I want to
yeah.
do that.
I have done that with, well, now all 3 of the ranunculus. Every one of them fit me just fine, but I'm going to tell you why there as well. So you just have to
Okay.
choose your neck edge. So choose the needle size, and of course, um, what I actually did was I kind of had a sweater. I mean, I had a tape measure, and I laid it around my neck, and I saw how many inches that felt good.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then when you go down the needle size and you see how many inches you're getting, how many stitches per inches, then that helps you to know which needle to go with to get that. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
it helps you know which neck edge to cast on because there's
Okay.
2. There's the smaller, and then there's what they call the
Okay.
wider,
Oh,
which I don't
I'm
think that,
loving this. It's
yeah,
making
I don't think the,
sense.
yeah, I don't think the wider is that big at all anyway, but
Okay.
it just depends what you're doing.
So when you went
Now,
down your needle sizes, which one are you doing? The wide one or
oh boy, you would have
am I
to ask
getting
that.
ahead?
No, no,
I'm
this is
getting
good,
ahead.
but I just have
I'm
to make
excited.
sure.
I'm getting
I know,
ahead.
no. Let me tell you guys what I did for, now I took it off already, but this is what I've done for all 3 of them. And you can see my ranunculus there is just a nice normal. For me, I don't like, I don't like anything too close to my neck. I should hide all these wrinkles, but I like it open and, breathable.
Yeah.
But in the pattern, you you cast on a certain amount depending on which neck edge, and then you do increases, ending up with 90 stitches. Okay, I cast on 90, so I went
Oh,
down
that
2
sounds much
sizes.
easier.
I just went right to the 90, and it makes for me a beautiful neck edge.
Oh,
But
that's
again,
easy.
I'm making, I don't need a turtlenecky type sweater. That's not what I'm
Right.
looking for. I just cast on the full amount and knit in rib 8 rows, which is what you're supposed to do. So your ribbing is only 8 rows. This is not a ranunculus. We'll talk about this later, but it looks the same. So yeah, this is ribbing. So it's just a little rib. Oh,
So
and it is
cast
done.
on and knit your ribbon with your smaller needle is what you did.
Yep. So there's
Yeah.
my
Oh,
8
that looks
rows.
great. I want
Yeah.
that. I want that
So,
yarn.
oh, thank
I
you.
love that
Yeah.
color.
I'll talk about that yarn later and why I even have it's another thing. So the neck edge is kind of it's kind of a big deal, but it's not. I think any neck edge you do is going to fit you just fine. Will it be the way you want it to look? Now, in my very first ranunculus over there, I actually cast it on, and I got this idea about going to the full 90 from somebody, and I think it was the Nitty Stew actually, but I'm not sure. And then I put in my cords and I tried it on, and I put it on over my neck, and I said, I love it, it's great, and that was that. So that's what I
Okay.
did. Okay.
Okay.
And so that's easy peasy. The next section is going to be short rows. I don't think the short rows really need too much explanation. I think if you don't know how to do the German short rows, they show in the videos that we had guided you to. However, do not forget to change your needles. They're not going to tell you because they're assuming you're using the needles for the neck edge and the body.
So,
ask me how I know not to forget.
so after you do the ribbon for the neck,
8 rows of ribbing,
then you
put
go
on
back
your,
to okay.
Yeah, your body size needle. So somebody asked a question, Nipeen, I think it's Nipeen Mom 3. She asked, let's see, she left this comment. Thanks for confirming what I was doing. She watched one of our videos. However, I'm concerned about row gauge. How I can verify that yoke raglan portion of the sweater will be deep enough when I'm knitting the smaller gauge. Have you had any issues with this? Now, I have not, and we kind of already addressed that. And in fact, in that ranunculus right there, I even skipped the front short rows. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying I did, and there was a reason. So definitely with those short rows, that's going to bring that design down plenty far. So I really don't think that you're going to use for this sweater pattern such a small needle size that would be an issue. So anyway, I just thought I'd address that. I told her I would. So
That's good.
when I do my ranunculus, I have ranunculus number 3 spring top, and then I note on here the needle sizes.
Okay,
A, I do it so I don't forget what I did, but B, I know down the line I might want to remember. Of course, now I have a journal to put it in.
I know.
Anyway, but I have pulled out these patterns and I do refer to them. So, and just so you know, then when you start knitting your yoke, the yoke is the same for every size. There is no difference in the yoke.
That is so amazing. That's so amazing.
And the yoke is so fun because you're doing all these little, stitches, and it's the raglan portion that's where it gets wider, and that's where it gets different. Okay. So in fact, I started knitting my first one. I started knitting the yoke because I knew that fact, and I really didn't know what size I was going to knit. I actually didn't know what size I was going to knit that one until I got to the raglan section, because I didn't understand the things that I later shared on the video. I really didn't know how to pick my size. It was just all weird to me. I don't know. So anyway, just knit your yoke, have fun, and go for it. So
So let me recap for the people that are watching that are as confused as me. You're going to knit your swatch. You may have already done that. You're going to find out your stitches per inch. And you're going to watch that 8-minute video that is in our video list. And that's going to help you to know which needle size that you're going to use. And then if you want a more sturdy neckline, you're going to, after you do your swatch and you know which needle size you're going to do your body with, then you're going to change to the next size needle.
Now, there is one thing I want to show you. I'm going to add this to the stage. Unfortunately, my needles are the exact same color as my yarn.
I love those colored needles.
I wish I could point, but do you see it between my pink marker and my right needle? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 stitches, right? After you do the right hand increase, they're going to have you knit 2 together, then knit 3. But do you see how there's kind of a V over there to the left? That slant, they call it a loop, is really supposed to be the second stitch on your left hand needle. That is, so sometimes you have to take your right hand needle and kind of pull that over so it's meeting that first stitch, because those 2 are going to be knit together, and then you're going to have the remaining 3.
Okay. That's good to know.
As soon as you see it for the first time, you'll know what I'm talking about. But what I did accidentally in my first ranunculus is I knit
those last 2 together.
Well, I knit what looks like the first 2 from the bottom of the needle, but the top, if you see, it's really going over that one, and that really supposed to be in the
Oh,
space
yeah.
between the first one on the right. And yeah, and so they call that a loop because that was an increase, and that increase loop is really supposed to be sitting in that kind of wide space there. And do you see where I'm? Oh,
I
I know it's
see.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
just
understand
make
what you're
sure.
saying.
So just make sure in round 7 when you're knitting 2 together, then knit 3, that one of your loops is that increase. Okay. So
Okay.
just make sure that's over
That
there.
makes sense.
Yeah. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I think it's because it's a little tight. If it was a little looser, it probably would be more
Would
obvious. But
jump over there. Yeah.
I am not I am not a consistent gauge knitter. I have found that out. I'm just not. Like in one sitting I can be, but then in the next sitting I might be a little
Yeah, well, I
tighter, a
think
little
that
looser.
happens. Yeah, that happens to all of us, and I think a lot of things that affect it is our mood when we sit down. I think if we're happy and the world is good, then we knit loose. If we're stressed, we are pulling that yarn. We're we're
Yeah.
taking it from the yarn.
It's
That happens to
true. I mean,
everybody.
if your hands are a little perspiring and they're
Yeah,
dragging, and it depends on,
yeah,
yeah, it just depends on a lot of things. But that was
yeah. A
one thing I
lot of
wanted
things.
to. Um, so yeah, I think that's about the only thing that I really have to say about that. Um, but yeah, so just so you know, I think I wrote something about on this.
So really, this week we should be, if you've not already swatched, you're going to be swatching, watching the 8-minute video. You're going to be doing your neck edge, and you're going to be doing the yoke. And we really don't have to know what size we're really going to knit for the body until next week when we come back. So everybody needs to have the neck and the yoke done. I'm going to
Yeah,
do it.
sort of.
I'm going to do it. Okay,
Well,
what we
but
got
you
to
can know
add?
because you swatched, you will know, you'll know what
Yeah.
size you're going to knit.
Yeah,
But
but
that
that'll just
can be
verify.
adjusted. Yeah, it
It
can
can be
be
adjusted.
adjusted at the raglan stage if needed, which is nice. And people ask me, how much yarn do you need for these? It does actually tell you in the pattern for different sizes, roughly how much
Yeah.
yarn and by which fiber size. Now my yarn, I am knitting. So this is an interesting story. I'm using the Barocco Tilly, which
I love
is,
Barocco's yarn. They've got some really nice yarns. Yeah, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's
I love
nice.
that.
Well, and
What
it's
is
a
your
ribbon.
fiber blend?
Yeah, it's a ribbon. It's kind of one of those ribbon yarns, which is
Yeah,
good for this type of fiber because it won't stretch. I've had this big complaint about
right.
cotton stretching so badly. And they said, now this is 62% cotton and 38% cupro, which they said is like a seaweed. I
Oh, so
guess,
it's
I don't know.
plant-based. But it's all
Yeah, it is.
plant-based.
It is.
Well,
However,
that's neat
in investigation, it did say, to make it a little shorter than I normally would because it
because it
may stretch
grows.
in length.
Yeah,
I really didn't want to hear that, but it's probably going to, so I'll make
yeah.
it a little shorter, than I would. So, but I figured it would be really nice for Key West. So what happened was this was the yarn I intended to use for my
Oh, look how
project.
pretty those colors are together. Put that back up
Oh,
there. Oh, that I love it.
well,
I love
however,
that.
you guys, I literally on the eve before I got the flu, no kidding, I I cannot undo this. It's crochet. It should be the easiest thing in the
It should
world.
be.
But I think because it was wet blocked, it it seemed to like, I don't know, it like stuck together. I couldn't do it. I got so frustrated. I mean, I ended up like even cutting it up thinking,
Oh, we
oh,
know
it's
what
awful.
really happened. You wanted to go buy new yarn.
Well, I actually didn't
I
because
know, I know.
um, I really didn't. I
Any
didn't because the
excuse to
yarn
go
stores are
get
so
new
far
yarn.
away for me. I
Did you
know.
drive to
Well,
a yarn store to get that?
I ended up at a local bookstore that happens to have yarn. It was a very, very interesting experience, which I don't know that I should share. Though
Uh,
it was just one of those moments that just made you pause and say, "Where am I?" That's
that's
really what
all you need to say. That might be all you need to
but another yarn store with birds in it. Okay, you guys, I have chickens. My grandparents used to have pet parakeets. They are the dustiest, dirtiest pets you can have in your house. And if you're going to have a bunch of fiber stacked in
Linda,
shelves,
you do have to tell one thing about being in that yarn shop, and I'm going to tell you what you need to tell. You need to
oh
tell about that
Lord.
bird sitting on her shoulder and what it looked like, and the reason you were told that bird looked that way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You got to tell that. So
Oh
the
Lord.
bird was
I'll
sitting
probably
on the,
never. So
oh
there was a
Lord.
beautiful, like purple and green. It was stunning, little like miniature parrot sitting on the shoulder of the person behind the desk. And so I walked in there, and I said, "Oh, I said you have a little friend." I said, is he molting? Because molting means the birds lose their old
Had,
feathers and get some new ones.
and did the bird had no feathers at
The
all?
feather's chest had no feathers in it, but I
No
could see it was pretty once.
one.
and and so I said, "Oh, is it molting?" She says, "No, it has social anxiety and it pulls its own feathers out." And I said, "Oh," now the room was full of like a
Oh,
table full of rowdy knitters. They were talking and making noise. And here's this little bird, and it's all cuddled up.
having
And I
social anxiety.
and
Oh
and I
me.
and I said, well, maybe the bird shouldn't be here with all these people." And she says, "Oh, it's somebody's support animal
Oh,
at the cost of the bird
you
picking its
you
own
can't,
feathers out."
because it was so
It was
socially
so nervous. It was
so
so
nervous,
nervous. It was picking
but
its
it
own
happened
feathers
to
out,
go through that because it was somebody else emotional support.
one of the
I'm
knitters that were at
sorry.
the table.
I'm
I don't know.
sorry.
I just said,
Oh,
"Oh,
okay.
okay." And then I
But
went and
you
bought
did
some
find
yarn.
some beautiful yarn. You found some beautiful yarn. Oh Lord.
I don't know. I
Oh
don't
man,
know.
that doesn't even make sense, but whatever. Okay. But I
I
thought when
know.
you
I
told me that,
just
I thought that I'm trying to wrap my mind around that, but I can't do it.
I think people need to love animals for what they really are, not what they need them to be. It's like a
Yeah.
dog is a dog. A dog is going to stink. It's going to dig holes. It's going to bark. It's
Yeah.
a dog. Like you can train them, but it's like they're still dogs. You can't even really get mad
They're
at
still
them
a
for doing
dog.
these things because they're dogs. They're never going to be a child. They're a dog.
Mm,
A cat
yeah.
is always going to be a cat. He's going to lick himself
Yeah.
incessantly. He's going to bathe every
Yeah.
30 seconds. He's going to ignore you. He's a cat.
I
That's what
know. It's like people are just kind of losing the reality of what things are.
but
I
then
just it just blows my mind.
do you
I know
really
we've
love your pet, or do you love it for what you need it to be? Because you got to love animals for what they are. These people that want to bring all these wild animals in their house and they want to turn a tiger into a kitten. It's a tiger. It will always
Oh
be a
Lord,
tiger.
could eat you up.
Well,
Could
but you
eat
have
you
to
up.
appreciate its tigerness. It's like love the
Yeah.
tigerness if you love tigers. Don't see it as some little,
Yeah.
backyard
And
kitten. It's a
please
tiger.
understand, everybody, we love animals. We have
Oh, I
animals.
love
Had a,
animals. Oh,
I've had an
my
inside
kids call me Dr.
job,
Doolittle.
and Yeah, so I mean, it's not we just it's like, well,
Oh,
but they are that's what they are, and they have the right place to be. And
I
anyway, I
know.
know we're
And,
off track. I just
don't
thought, oh
don't
Lord,
stress
you've
out
got.
your animals.
I know. I was like,
and
you got to
and
tell about that bird
honestly,
sitting.
I know when I go to Lowe's and I see these dogs, they are so nervous, they're shaking. And it's like because it's loud, it's big and echoey,
Yeah.
there's all these people. And it's like, how is it better for your dog to be a nervous wreck in this home improvement store than in the coziness of its bed at home? It's like, take your animal home. Enough of that. Okay,
Okay,
there's my,
we really
there's
got
my
off track, but whatever, whatever.
we might have to edit. Who knows? Anyway, now. But
This is
so
the kind of
yeah,
talk we do, y'all. This is the kind of
it's the
this is
junk
real.
drawer.
This is a
This is the junk drawer.
junk
Yes,
drawer.
yes, yes. But anyway, so yes, I'm very excited
But
about my ranunculus.
you got beautiful yarn there. I
Well,
love it. I
thank
am
you.
jealous. I
It's
want that.
well, you can get it. It's just called, what color is it called? Pistachio. There you go. Looks
Oh,
limey to
oh,
me, but
yeah. Very,
but
very.
very limey, very Key West. But
Yes,
I just
very.
like
It's
I
gonna look
said,
good with your hair.
yeah. So anyway, so what else have you been doing for the last 2 weeks since we last
I am
recorded?
so excited to share the stuff that I've been doing because I have had so much fun. So
Really?
first of all, everybody knows if you watched the last episode that I did finish my Advent. I do have a few little strings hanging. I have loved wrapping up in it in the last 2 weeks,
Oh, I bet.
and I have stood in front of the mirror and I have. Um, I am going. I promise you, I'm going to have to. I am going to. I am going to have to pay for no ads in YouTube. I keep saying I don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to. Okay. So I said that I was going to take pictures on different ways of how to use my wrap, my Advent wrap, which was the My Reading Shawl. And I've stood in front of the mirror and I have got some of the most wonderful ways that I'm going to wear it. So I have got to get somebody to take pictures of what but I want to show you because if you make a big reading shawl like I made with all the grams of yarn that I used, it's huge. And then it's like, well, the only thing I can do is just wrap up with it. But oh, there's so many different ways that I'm going to wear it. I can't wait to take pictures. But anyway, I have loved wrapping up in my reading shawl the last 2 weeks, especially with the cold weather and all the things, that we've been going on
Mm-hmm.
weather-wise. But I pulled back out my Good Tidings Advent that I got, which
Oh.
is the garland that you knit the 24 cones. And, I had knitted 3 of the cones back before I started with my Advent reading shawl. And I kind of shut down on it because my focus was doing the reading shawl, but I pulled that back out because I really want to get that done by Christmas, by December. So it's really going to be a year project that I'm going to have to work on and really chart to work on it. But look how many of them I've made.
Oh, nice.
Look.
Oh, wow. They're like mini
And
socks.
yes, and these are the little cones that all of the little characters are going to fit into for the Advent that you'll hang on the fireplace. So I can just imagine it hanging behind me next year and all the little characters inside of it. But this is fun. And this is 100% wool that I'm knitting with. And I am love knitting with this non-superwash yarn. I always thought that I wouldn't enjoy that. But it's wonderful it doesn't slip. The ends are easy to take and put in. And I have done all my ends on every one. I've been such a good girl. I don't have any ends hanging. I'm so excited. And then the other thing that I did, last episode I showed the Speckled Finch Yarn Club yarn for January, and I said I envision doing a crocheted project. And Heather, thank you for sending your recommendations. I took a look at those recommendations. And although I loved everything that you suggested, my brain kept going back to the Yorkshire blanket that I did as an Advent for 2024 Advent, so December a year ago. And I loved doing that. And I chose one of the 12 squares and did that for the whole Advent, so that um, when I would, sit down. For me, Advent is supposed to be comfort, not having to read a pattern. So I thought, well, if I choose
Right.
one and do it over and over again, then it becomes familiar, to me. So that's what I did, and I loved it. Problem is I've not put it together, but that is on the list for 2026. I'm going to finish it. And so I thought, I'm going to revisit those squares and just see if there's anything in there that I would like to do with the yarn club with speckled finch for 2026. And I changed, instead of just getting a variegated, I actually added in the tonal to my yarn club. So I'm getting 2 100-gram hanks. And so I went back and I did find one of those squares that I thought, this is what I want to do. I'm going to only do this one square because I want me to eventually be able to do it without really looking at pattern. And I could just do it every month and stay up on it. And so I did it. I have knitted every one. I took my tonal and my variegated from the Speckled Finch Yarn Club, and this is the pattern that I'm doing out of the Yorkshire blanket.
Oh, it's
The
so
one
pretty. It
with the
looks like a
flower.
rose.
It
Yeah, it
does.
looks like a rose.
And so I get 3 of these squares out of each 100-gram hank. And so what I
Ooh.
did is and look, this is all I had left of the 2 hanks of yarn from the yarn club. This is what I had left. This is what's left of the variegated, and this is what's left of the tonal. And so what I did is I did 2 of the solid squares. So I've got 2 of those. And then I did 2 of the variegated squares. And then what was left, I had enough to do 1 each of variegated and tonal. But what I did is I changed and put the tonal in the middle and
Look at
rounded it with the
there. That's
variegated.
cool.
And then I put the variegated in the
Listen.
middle and rounded it with the tonal. And
Nice.
so I have loved, I had a light week at work last week. And so the first week after we filmed 2 weeks ago, I worked on Advent cones with Good Tidings Advent. And then I shifted and started doing my crocheted squares. And so I'll get 6 crocheted squares each month. So by 6 months, I will have 36 of these. And then you double that till the end of the year. So I really am probably crocheting enough squares that when I put them together and put the border, that I'll be making 2 blankets. And so I am in love with this, and I am loving crocheting them. And crocheting, of course, is a yarn hog, but it can be faster than knitting at times, and so I feel like I'm really accomplishing a lot. However, what I'm most excited about is that my determination to knit or to crochet up that yarn club, and it's not going to be yarn coming in and then I'm not making anything from it. So
Right.
anyway, it's been a very successful 2 weeks. And
Yay.
so yes, I had lots to share. What do you have to share?
Well,
I know you've had to find yarn. You went to a yarn shop.
the the week right after we recorded last, I was still working on our guest room because my friend was coming from Wisconsin.
Oh, that's
And
right.
and so we were painting and working really hard to get that room done. And then my husband came in one day, that was Thursday, so we record on Monday. So the Thursday after, he said, I looked at one of the guys at work, and I said, dude, you look really bad. And he happened to say, yes, and I have the flu, and breathed all
Ooh.
over him. And we got the
Oh,
flu.
oh
And Danny
no.
got sick the next day, and I was still okay. And I'm starting to take all the meds. And you guys, the ivermectin, the hydroxychloroquine. I mean, I started it, of course, my vitamin extra C and stuff. And I felt fine on Friday. And I thought, I beat this. I started to feel icky, and then I didn't. But then Saturday came. And so my friend was supposed to be coming, but she had to stay with her son because we were sick.
Yeah.
So thank goodness she had a place to be. I mean, it would have been really horrible. But we really kind of waited to even tell her because, we really don't get, we can catch things, but it's so short-lived because of all the good things we do to support our body. I'm taking my Activate C with the turmeric. I'm drinking the tea, and that really is a
Yeah.
powerful thing because the turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. And we were doing all the right things, but we still felt crummy. And I think just because we were so tired and wore out, we did get the room done, except for the window treatments, which we, waited like 3 days, and then we were kind of like made our way up the stairs. We're like, oh gosh. I did not knit for almost 4 days, you guys. That
Oh my
tells you
gracious.
how horrible I felt. I didn't eat either, which, wasn't the diet plan I was looking for, but I'll take the loss. And so we just kind of sat around. And then finally on Tuesday, she was able to come, and she only got to stay 1 day and had to go home. But we'll see her next month. So I wasn't overly devastated. But yeah, I was sick, which was not fun. And then, of course, I slowly got back into things, but took my Christmas tree down yesterday.
You.
I did. I can't go to Key West
Oh.
and come back to a Christmas tree. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So I did that, but most of my
Well,
other
my
stuff
winter
is
tree is
winter.
still up.
Yeah, yeah.
My
I'm
winter
leaving up my
tree.
winter decorations, but yeah. So and then of course we were going to get the big snowpocalypse, right? So they start out with 18 inches of snow in the mountains, and 4 to 6 where we live, and of course every day it got less and less and less.
Hmm.
So
That's
I
what
baked the
happened here.
bread, got the laundry done. I mean, I'm just a big believer, keep your sink clean of dishes in case you can't
Yes.
wash them. Of course we have a generator, but still we had everything ready, and it got less and less.
Yeah.
And,
What happened here?
then it was just really kind of a big nothing. But the day before, we could lose power, I thought, I really want to block my sweater. So I blocked my sweater.
Oh,
So
and Linda, it is so
here,
beautiful on you. Look
oh,
at that.
it's done. It's
I
all
just
done.
love it. I love it.
I'm
You did a
I'm
beautiful
very,
job on
thank
it.
you. I'm
And
very
tell the
happy with
name
it.
of it. What's the name of it again?
It's the sorrel made with the cashmere and coconuts advent.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
And it is
I don't.
beautiful. We hit home runs this year on Advent. We really did.
Yeah,
We hit
I'm
home
really
runs.
liking this. It's just, and my whole world has got blues in it. But
It's
I
beautiful and
love
it
the
looks,
water.
the sleeves are
I don't need
beautiful.
to.
Hold those sleeves up. Let me see those sleeves again. Oh, look how beautiful the color. You just did a
Yeah,
beautiful
just
job
kind of.
on it. And it looks those colors are
Yeah.
good on you. They look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
I love
I mean,
it.
you don't ever really know what it's going to look like,
No,
so, but it turned out very, very nice. And it's a very nice sweater pattern. It was fun. It was a fun, it's fun to have some interest, when you're knitting. I don't want to just, do stockinette or garter stitch. I just want to
you
do a little
you
something.
amaze me because I have no desire to do what you did.
Well,
I have no
oh,
desire.
it's so
I would feel
cozy. I'm really
you had
enjoying
put
it.
me in a fireplace and told me to get out. I'm burning up in here. I'm burning up. Let me get out. Let me get out. I would feel like I was in a fireplace the whole time.
It's
I
just
am
a
so
big blanket.
impressed.
It's just
It
a big
doesn't matter.
blanket.
No, what you had to do is match that yarn and on the
Oh,
sleeves to the body and all of
that
that. No,
was
no, I have
that.
no desire to do that. I'm too lazy or something.
Oh, no, that
No,
was
it's a miracle. You taught me into
yeah,
doing
that was
the
interesting.
binoculars. That's a miracle. It
This
is
will
a
be the
miracle.
easiest sweater you'll
Oh,
ever
okay.
probably
I'm
knit.
believing you. I'm
No, it
believing you.
really is, especially
I'm
with those large
trusting you.
needles. I mean,
I'm
size
trusting
8
you.
needle is huge. I'm using a 10, so I mean, I'm doing a 10, and so it's going to be very. But that was my intention. I'll wear a little
Great.
cami underneath it, and
Yeah.
um, or a tank of some sort. But Susie, I've got to tell you something. I had the grandkids in the car the other day, and we were talking, and I asked them, they were in the back seat and I'm driving, and I said, so Eleanor, I said, do you still take baths, or are you taking showers now? And she says, I'm like Susie, I don't like getting wet.
That is so amazing.
I almost had to pull over to the side of the road.
Well,
I
how
was
does she know
She
that?
watches all of our
My
videos. She is
gracious.
7. She gets that Apple
Hey,
remote, Apple
Eleanor.
TV.
Hey, I'm so glad you're like me.
I said, "Well, honey, she
That is
likes
so
she because
wonderful.
I had to, clarify. She likes to shower, but she doesn't enjoy
Oh,
swimming and things.
that's
Because
right.
it's like she's going to start pulling this with her mom. I don't need to take a shower
I
because
know
Susie
Susie doesn't
doesn't.
take showers. She hates water. She hates water. That
Oh,
is
Lord have
so
mercy.
wonderful.
Do you know,
Oh,
my
I knew
daughter
I was,
doesn't watch
I
my
knew, oh,
episodes.
I
She
knew that I
doesn't
was
watch them.
kindred spirits with Eleanor. Eleanor, me and you are a
I
lot
know.
alike.
She is so funny, but the granddaughter at 7 years old watches them.
I
And
know.
frankly,
Hey,
oh,
none of my children watch our episode, but one day they will. One day they
oh, they
will.
will.
One day
They
it
will.
will. One day they will.
And then I walked in with the bag that I had made with our logo on it. And it now Strider is 5. He doesn't read yet, but it does say yarn over with us. It doesn't say Susie. Anyway, he pointed and he said, "How long have Susie been your friend?"
Oh.
These kids are hardwired into this.
So our little characters do really look like us then. That makes me feel good because I like the
I
way my
think,
character looks.
but he's very smart. Like he's a critical thinker, so he knows the logo
Yeah,
is supposed to be us. And maybe even there was a
yeah,
conversation about that, but I thought that was really interesting. I thought,
yeah,
oh my
that's
goodness.
really
Yeah,
neat.
I know my daughter doesn't watch my episodes because she sent me a gift and she was so excited, and it was a neck lamp.
Oh,
And I didn't want to make her feel bad because it was so sweet of her
oh,
to think of me.
oh, and we
And I
did a
said,
whole episode about them neck lamps.
and she said, "This is for knitting in the dark." Wasn't that the name of
Oh,
the episode?
well, that was the name of the episode.
And I said, "Thank you so much for thinking of me." I said, "Do you have
Oh,
one?" I was kind of hoping. She said, "No, not yet." And she said, "I do. They're awesome."
oh,
And
oh
and
my
I had to
gracious.
tell her I had 2, one in the house, one in the camper.
Yeah,
And she says,
yeah.
"Oh," and she felt kind of bad. And I sent her the episode
Oh,
link.
yeah, there you
I
go.
said, and Mike, if she would have talked to Eleanor and Strider, they could have told
Eleanor
her
would have told her. Lala already has
that.
one of those, Mommy. Didn't you watch that episode?
Oh, that was just funny. But yeah, the little
Oh,
things that the little
oh Lord.
episode whatevers. Yeah. So anyway.
Well,
Other than that, I've had very lazy days, a lot of sleeping and recuperating, and I'm feeling normal again. So
yeah,
I'm
good. I'm
knitting.
glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
was brutal. But Dr. Stella, the frontline doctor, she said there's some weird flu going around that's not a normal flu. And I think that
Yeah.
was it. But again, who knows how bad it could have been if I didn't have all my good stuff, because it seemed
Yeah.
like forever, but we really only felt lousy for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time we were just, kind of tired and
Yeah. And
recuperating. And
you mentioned Activate C, and a lot of people won't know what that
oh,
is. That is a
yeah,
product that's in our shopping club that we're a part
yeah,
of. And so if you want to
yeah.
know more about that, go to our website, yarnoverwithus.com, and scroll and find about the shopping club, and we can send you some information. There's almost 500 products that we love using in our home. I've been shopping with this
Mm-hmm.
company since 1989. I raised my kids on the
That's
on
incredible.
the on the products, and loads of stuff there for your family. A one-stop shop, especially if you are interested in health and wellness and taking care of your body, and being able to get over things quickly. And Tebow and Colleen came in, and they came in sick with the flu back the
Mm,
first of the year. And me and my husband, they were right in our house breathing on us in the kitchen and all of that. We didn't get it. And I had everything here to doctor them to help them get over it in just a few days. And so,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's real important. And, I was watching a video the other day. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but it was talking about a real issue now with supplements that we buy in the grocery store, or like at even the vitamin shops, that they've tested, and what they say is in there is not really in there. So you really need to know the company you're buying from, the legitimacy of what they're producing. And our shopping club, they make they own the formulas. Many of the things are patented. And I know this sounds like a commercial, but if you're looking, this is the place to look. So
Oh,
go over there and
definitely.
let us send you some
I know.
information,
And
especially
it's
right now in the winter time. I'm telling you, people are.
yeah.
And I used to walk into a vitamin shop and I would be so confused that I would just leave. It's like, well, I know
Yeah,
what I
the
want, but
decision fatigue.
yeah, it's like you go in there and you think, I
Mm,
can't do this. And so a confused mind just says no, it shuts down. And
yeah.
truly, you can trust, very affordable, great stuff for your family. And so let us show it to you. You
I
know,
know, and it's all American made and American
yeah,
owned, which I love. But the cleaners used to be more expensive than the dollar store, and now they're cheaper because they're
yeah,
concentrated. And it used to
yeah.
be it's like $1.25, I think, a bottle. Of course, a Dollar Tree. There's nothing there for $1 anymore. So now,
No,
now technically, the
no.
products are even cheaper. But it was really interesting. So I make some Sustain, which is our natural hydration drink,
Like,
natural Gatorade,
yeah, like
but
a
good,
Gatorade.
truly
Yeah.
good for you. So I drink that. I call it my heart juice. And so, but when my chickens are stressed, I make it for them. And with the cold coming
Hmm.
and they are molting, unlike the poor parrot or what tree. But it's so sad. Chickens choose to molt either in August or in the bitter January. I don't get it, but mine didn't molt in August, and I just kind of cringed inside knowing that some of them are going to molt. And then they have, so few feathers for
Yeah.
the coldest months, right? So anyway, I made some, but I thought I'm going to add a little extra vitamin B, and I had some cheapo vitamin B. Actually, it was my father-in-law's. He came with it over the counter that you get at the grocery store or at the Walmart, vitamin B, and I put it in the drink. And I took it out and I'm trying to break it up. I'm trying to break it up. It's in a canning jar, right? And anyway, it just wouldn't break up. So I said, forget it. And I just went outside, poured the juice, not juice, poured the drink in a bowl for the chickens and
Hmm.
came back in. And I put some water in there because the thing was stuck at the bottom of the canning jar. 3 days later, it was still in the water and whole.
It didn't break down. That's the issue
Three
with a lot
days
of,
later.
yeah, when you swallow those supplements, they've got to break down so
I'm like, and
your body
I
can
thought, what?
use them.
And it was so stuck to the bottom, I had to get a knife, And yeah, I kind of wanted to see how long it would just stay whole, and I just kind of
Yeah.
left it over there to the side of my sink. And yeah, so then I gave up and I finally picked it out with a knife and threw it away. But yeah, just don't waste your money. You have very expensive urine and doo doo
Yeah.
sometimes. So,
Yeah.
anywho.
Ooh.
Mm, doo
Oh,
doo.
me.
Oh, I know. My,
Oh,
so what else? Anything else?
no, I'm
I
just
think
thrilled that
that's
they
it.
if you're still here with us, I'm glad you've kept knitting or crocheting and stayed to hear our junk drawer talk.
I know, and I have
And
nothing to talk about other channels. I have not been watching any shows hardly at all this first part of the year. I've been too
well,
busy
I'll tell
and
you, I had been with all of my knitting that I've done. I do have a recommendation. Some of you may have already watched it, but I binged Pole Dark, and it
oh
was
yeah. Oh yeah.
it yeah, I binged Pole Dark, and it's 5 seasons. It's a
Are you done with it already?
I'm done with it. And I keep thinking about them and think, well, I can't go back and find out what's going on in their lives. But what
I
I loved
know.
about it really is because it's very hard to find clean TV anymore,
Mhm.
unless you're
Mhm.
watching stuff that's really old. And this came out like back in what, 2020 or so? I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's PBS is who put it
Mhm.
out, I
Masterpiece
think.
Theater, yeah.
Yes, Masterpiece Theater. And I mean, if it had any bad language in it, I don't remember. So, of course, if it happened, it was very few times. I don't know that it ever happened. And it's really an amazing love story, but it was
Mhm.
clean. You
Mhm.
didn't have to like fast forward through anything or whatever. But
Yeah.
it had a great storyline, and they wrapped it up very well. They could have continued it, but I think that they're not going to be filming that anymore. So if you watch all 5 seasons, you've
Mhm.
watched it all. There's no more
Yeah.
coming. But they did a great job with it. I loved it. I fell in love with the characters, and it was great. And so if you're having to snuggle in with all this weather and want something to binge, Pole Dark is great. I just really
Yeah.
really
Where
enjoyed
did you
it.
watch it? Where
I
did you?
watched it on Netflix. Yeah, and it was
Oh,
all five
really? It's on
seasons.
Netflix?
All 5 seasons are on Netflix.
Because I know it's on Prime, which is
Yeah,
how we probably watched it back in the day. But yeah, that was
yeah,
good. I
it's
love
on.
period pieces anyway.
Yes, I love them, and so I'm kind of looking for something else that might be in that period that's clean and family friendly and all of that. So if you
I
have
have a
suggestions,
movie, and I
oh, you
think it was made
do.
in 2012 called Behind the Mask.
Oh, that sounds. But so what's it about?
It is a story that's around the revolutionary time of the United States. It's a little
Okay,
bit of a
yeah.
comedy. It's a very good movie, and how I never heard about it until we watched it while we were ill. I think it's called Behind the Mask. I'll put the title up. But we kind of
Okay.
saw like a preview come across, and Danny's like, we need to watch this because they had a actor in there that was in some other major series that he liked, and of course he's the bad guy, and he plays a bad guy most of the time apparently, and it was very good. It was, in fact, I'd like to see it again because I think I dozed kind of on and off during it, but it was good. And I don't think there was any bad language and weirdness in there either. It was very interesting. They even have um, Benjamin Franklin in there, and one of his inventions, but it was during the time of the
Yeah.
signing of our independence. So, yeah,
Okay.
they even have him in it. But yeah, I think it's called Behind the Mask. I think, but I'll put it up here. So
Okay.
anyway,
And if you're
yeah.
watching and you haven't subscribed or shared or
Mm-hmm.
commented, please comment. Please hit the bell. Give us a
Yeah, let
thumbs
us
up.
know if you're knitting
Yeah, let
with
us
us.
know.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
didn't have a yarn circle spotlight to share, but send your
I
projects
think
and
Well, I think
And
we're going to hold off because we're going to wait to do them till after we're done with this, and we'll just do all the ranunculus.
oh,
I
okay.
hope we have like 50 of them. I wouldn't even
Oh,
care if it
be
took us
fun.
15 minutes to get through them all. Everybody
I know,
needs to
to
submit them.
showcase everybody's ranunculus. That's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And so we'll be back in a week.
All right.
And
Yep.
everybody do your homework and make sure that you have your neckband
Yep.
and your yoke done, and we'll go from there.
If you can stop there, and if you don't
If you
stop
can
there,
stop.
that's okay. Keep knitting. Keep knitting.
knitting.
So once you get going, it's hard to stop because it just blossoms as it goes. So anyway, well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.